Hey y'all, while I'm sitting here waiting for the cafeteria to be closed, I said I'm gonna try my hand at a story time. So I'm going to tell you guys a story about some of my first years of teaching. I am an elementary reading coach now, but I've been in the education business for 18 years. I'm also a tutor and I own a tutoring company, but I started in the classroom, and my passion has always been to work with inner city kids. And because of that, I've been in some awkward situations, some funny situations, some weird situations, but I count them all joy because it makes up my professional journey. So anyhow, when I first started out, I went to school, of course, to be a special education teacher because I had a passion for children that had behavior issues, because I had behavior issues. That's a story for another day. But I went to school seeking to work with these types of children. And if you know any child that probably suffers, or I shouldn't even say suffer because I feel like it's a unique trait, but that struggles with following the rules or staying within a box, they're generally very intelligent children. They are very good at manipulating situations and getting their way. So my first day of teaching, I encountered a very unique individual. Like I said, I went to school for special education, so I was blessed with the opportunity to work with kids that had behavior disorders and mental disorders together. So I'm brand new, fresh out of school, maybe a week. I came back off of Christmas vacation, ready to go, right? Thinking I'm going to be the super teacher. I have on these nice nylon stockings. I got on my nice little outfit. My hair is cut. Like I'm ready. I'm ready for the situation, right? So I walk into the school and I'm working with pre-K age to kindergarten age students. Now, let me remind you, hindsight 2020, I find out that my actual sorority sister actually was the teacher that quit. She worked 3 days and she was like, this ain't for me. I'm going to school to be a lawyer. So shout out to Ikesia, because I was the person that actually took your job 6 months later, right? So anyhow, I walk into the school. I'm ready to go. I'm fresh green. I'm thinking, I'm going to change these kids' lives, not knowing that they're actually going to change my life. So anyway, I get to the school and only to find out that these kids have not had a teacher since the third day of school. And so here we are, we're in January, we're coming off of the first day of break. I walk in and basically I'm told, these are your children, get going, okay? So no prep, and let me just throw this in here. School does not prepare you to be a teacher. Like when you go off to college, it does not prepare you for teaching. Like that is, I don't know. The theory behind it, yeah, that good stuff is great. But as far as like lesson planning, behavior management, what to do, there's no preparation. So anyway, I walk into the school and I'm greeted by, let's call him KJ. KJ is there. KJ seems pretty docile. He's sitting at the table. He's fine. He's ready to get started. And then I have another kid. Let's call him K2. K2 is in there. I know that's not like really a good name right now, but back when I started teaching in 2003, it was a great name. Okay, so just go with it. So his name is K2. So K2 is sitting there. He's pretty okay. He's sitting there. He's ready to go. I have another little boy. We're going to call him BJ. BJ's sitting there. He's kind of like playing with his pencils and his crayons. He's setting up a fort. So I'm like, okay, hey, they said this is EBD, which is behavior disorders, but this doesn't look like that, right? This looks like a perfectly normal classroom. So I have a para. My para is actually older lady that actually helped raise me, if I want to look at it like that. She was an elder in our church growing up, so she knew the bad me Alana, and here was the professional me Alana being presented before her. So anyhow, she didn't give me a wink, a SOS sign, a girl get ready sign, nothing. She was just like, hey, it's so nice to have you. So anyhow, we get our day started. We're reading, we're learning, we're doing our numbers, and it's lunchtime, right? So back in 2003, the education, like ESC's kids were kind of separated. they weren't integrated like they are now. So the kids were separated. So my kids went to lunch after the cafeteria was closed, and that should have told me something, but it didn't. So I'm green. I'm walking to the cafeteria. I take my kids out to the cafeteria, and we're ready to go, right? We get in the cafeteria. They eat their food. They're a little messy, but they're little kids. No big deal, right? So that's the bell, y'all. So we're on our way back to the classroom, and KJ looks at me and he's like, "You're a stupid bitch." I'm like, "Hold up, wait, where is this coming from?" So I said, "Sweetie, what did you say?" He's like, "You heard me, you're a stupid bitch." So he starts screaming at the top of his lungs. So I'm like really confused, because these children were just okay a couple minutes ago, and now we're having World War 87. Like, what's going on? I don't understand it. So anyhow, I look at my parent and I'm like, okay, what's going on? So she looks at me and she's like, "Yeah, I don't know if they told you or not, but his medicine, it stops at a certain time." And so I knew at the time nothing about time release medication. I knew nothing about kids getting dosages of medication at school. Like, I knew none of that. Okay. So anyhow, I have to give you guys a background story on KJ a little later. But so I'm looking and I'm like, okay, Lord, what do? I don't know what to do with this little boy. All of my training had been in upper elementary or high school. And so here's this little munchkin, like really breaking down, having this hissy fit. And what do I do? So anyhow, she looks at me and she's like, "He has to go to the timeout room." So I'm like, okay, timeout room, here we go. So this is my first time, even though that I had the training, I had never really used any restraints or anything. So this is my first time. Now, mind you, remember y'all, I told y'all I came in cute. I had on my little stockings, my little heels, my dress, my hair was cut. Like, I was ready, So anyhow, I go in, get ready to do the takedown or whatever. When I tell you this boy rocked this girl, now I wasn't as thick as I am now, but I was thick, and this was a little kid, but he rocked me. I'm telling you, he rocked me. So finally we get him in the timeout room. I get him in there. I'm taking a breather because I'm like, finally I got him in the timeout room. And I hear like a click, 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 but I don't pay attention to it because I'm trying to catch my breath. I'm like, this first day, this is what this is going to be like. So anyhow, after I hear the click, 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 then I hear a louder click, and then the door brushes open. So he runs out and he's like, "You're supposed to keep your hand on the door, you stupid bitch." So I'm like, "I'm sorry, you stupid fat bitch." That's what he said. "You stupid fat bitch." So I look at him and I'm like, "Oh my God, what is this?" So this boy, he runs towards the gate. I'm looking and they're like, "You got to go get him. You got to go catch him." So I'm like, "Catch him, get him." This is a side note, where I've come up with in my 18 years of teaching, I don't chase children. This was because of this situation. But anyhow, I chased the boy, bring him back in, put him in the timeout room, and that's when I'm told that the timeout room has a timer on it, but the timer is such a short span of time. It's not enough time for the kid to actually cool down. And so you have to keep your hand on it and just keep signing the log that child has been in that timeout room for that long. Crazy. Okay. So after we get through this situation, our adrenaline is like just going. I kind of think back and reflect, and I start to cry. And so I tell my parent, I'm like, I need a moment. And so what do? I call my mama. I'm like, "Look, Mom, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm going to go and work at Walmart. This is not what I thought this was going to be like. I'm supposed to come here, teach these children. They're supposed to fall in love with me, and we're supposed to live happily ever after. That's what's supposed to happen, not this." So my mom, if anyone knows my mom, BJ gonna tell you the truth, okay? So I tell her, the whole situation and what happens. And so she says, "Alana," she says, "Listen, you are fat. You're fat, but you're nobody's BITCH, okay? And you're not stupid." She says, "So you're going to go back in there, and you are going to take control of that class, and you're going to be okay, because this is what you want to do. This is what you've always wanted to do. And so you're going to go in there. You're not going to work at no Walmart. You're not doing any of that. What you're going to do is go back into that classroom and be the teacher that I know you can be." Okay. She says, "Now wait, your dad and I have told you all your life, all that crying, you got to stop. Now he gonna do this again because you've cried, right? But you have to go in there and take control of the situation." And so 18 years later, I'm here. I think my behavior management is a nice little part of my package as a educator. But that was my first day. Like, there were some other things that happened, but I can just tell you, when I walked out of school that day, I had a huge hole and run in my stockings. Reminded me of being in the 5th grade all over again. My hair was disheveled and I was tired. But that was my first day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. I'm gonna get my day started. I hope you guys have an excellent Friday, because I know I am. We have 6 more days left of school, and so I am going to enjoy the children, but I'm going to also enjoy getting ready to slide on into the summer. You guys have a great day. See you later.